Oh, baby. People are coming in. Mia, how you feeling, dude?
I'm good. I decided to start training for high rocks and hit some back squats yesterday, and I'm
Watch out.
ungodly sore today.
She
I was like,
Wait,
I
how is your
cramped.
cold?
What?
Is it cold?
Did I what?
asked how your cold is.
Oh, it's still like lingering. It's just like a little stuffy and everything. But it's not too bad. It's just more frustrating than anything.
Yeah, that's like the worst when you can't breathe out of your nose.
I know. I woke up in the middle of the night and was like, oh boy, like that post nasal drip where you're like choking. I was like, this is not
Ew.
Yeah, that
not
stuff
fun.
sucks, dude. It sucks.
But yeah, how are you guys?
We're doing good. I'm doing good.
Not bad.
We're going to Arizona for a wedding. We're driving 12 hours tomorrow. So
Oh dang.
if anybody wants to talk to us on our long car ride,
Yeah.
we would field a phone call and chat with you about any and everything. Chelsea will probably be going nuts by the time we get out of the car after being in it for 12 hours with me.
That's a long drive. We're in Arizona.
Scottsdale.
Yeah, the
Okay.
wedding we're going to is in Phoenix, like Scottsdale, Tempe area.
Nice.
But we're gonna be down there for a bit, and then we're gonna go to a little hike extravaganza in Sedona and stay out over there on the way back. So should be fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
I went to Sedona when I was in 8th grade. It was pretty.
cool. Yeah. Andrew came in. What's up, dude? Mike is here.
Andrew Ellis?
Yeah.
Oh my
Hey,
goodness.
I'm here. Sorry. I just got back from the gym, so I like hurried up and showered.
So you're
So
nice
I'm
and
like getting
sweaty and
dressed
you're
right
watching
now.
Cops, dude.
I was watching Cops, yeah.
Amy's here. Everybody doesn't have their videos on though. This is like the time where you're like in a work meeting and you don't turn it on so nobody can see you. And that way nobody knows if you're actually paying attention or not.
Just casually scrolling on your phone while they're
That's
talking.
right. Smart, smart, smart.
Back to what I used to do.
Amy, I saw that you scheduled a call at the end of the month. I'm stoked, dude.
So I just get the day before I'll be in Chicago. So I was like, oh, perfect. The
Ooh, the
24th.
Windy
Thank
City in Chi-Town? What are you doing over
you.
there?
For work, I'm doing a factory tour with PG&E.
Nice. Well, PG&E is going to Chicago?
Yeah. Well, no, we have hoses made out in Chicago for them. So
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's not very Pacific. That's
I
gas and
know,
electric,
right?
but not very Pacific.
Good. Quick little trip.
Yeah, cool. I hope you're going to the American Express Lounge because it is the best thing ever.
I don't honestly, I do not know the guys are being difficult about flights right now, so I'm trying to just go with the flow right now.
I see.
They want to fly out of Oakland, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm flying out of Sac. So if you guys want to fly out of Oakland, go right ahead.
Yeah, tell them to pack sand, no shot.
Yeah, I'm good.
And Deborah's here too. How proud
Yep.
were you after the race?
Oh, I was very proud. I was so happy that Mia's mom and dad were there so that Mia's mom could update me and let us know what's going on since the track was kind of off and we were kind of confused at times about like what happened to people. So,
I
like
nerded
first
out hard.
You did, you were
there
trying.
was a third one that was running. Ben and Mia's friend was running as well, and his chain broke on the bike.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's like
So
mile in.
he like was like sitting there at the chair, like, well, like what happened to Nick? Like, what's going on? But now we know what happened to him. So
Ah, that sucks. I you'll be happy to know this. I talked to a lady. We flew around Coast Guard Admiral today for work, and she is like 50. She's probably like in her early 50s, late 40s, and she was talking to me about running full. She's done full
oh
Ironmans,
God.
like 3 of them.
Yeah, well,
And I
I'm
was like,
58 and I'm never going to do a half, let alone a full. Thank you.
I was like, dude, this lady's wild, wild. Jenny's here too. What's up, dude?
Hey.
Hey, hey. She looks like she just got sweaty and took a shower.
Did exactly that.
Nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Cool. Mia, I'm gonna give you the permissions for this, just so that you can do it. And then whenever you're ready to rock it, you can make it happen.
Sweet. Yeah, I think I finally figured out the Zoom thing after a week and a half of technical difficulties. I just gotta figure out. Oh, here we go. All right. Let me just make this a slideshow. Sweet. You guys can all see my screen? I'm hoping.
Dude, that was so fast.
I'm just a pro now.
Looks good, Mia.
All right. So today, hold on, you guys are kind of blocking the screen. There we go. So I kind of just wanted to talk about like nutrition 101. So just a really high level overview of energy balance, macronutrients, and ways we can start incorporating healthy eating habits into our daily lives. So I'm kind of just gonna roll through it. If at any point you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll try and remember to pause, but sometimes I kind of just get lost in my thoughts. So here we go. Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. All right, so energy balance. So what is it? So essentially, when we think about, gaining weight, losing weight, or maintaining our weight, we have to kind of think about calories in versus calories out. So in order for us to lose weight at a very, very high level, essentially the calories that we consume has to be less than the calories that we expend on a daily basis. So your calories in, that's going to include all the food that you're eating, any sort of beverages. So that includes like if you put creamer in your coffee, soda, alcohol, any of that, that's going to be included in your overall caloric intake. And then calories out is going to be the energy that we expend throughout the day. So that's from activity such as structured exercise, like what we're doing in the program here, non-structured exercise, so just walking around, and then also just from living, we expend calories just by being alive. And I'll kind of break down the different components of our metabolism here in a second. But that's really high level. If we want to lose weight, we need to eat less than the calories that we burn on a day-to-day basis. And the same goes that if we want to gain weight, that means calories in has to be higher than the number of calories that we eat. So let's say, you might hear about like bulking or cutting. If you're trying to bulk up, you need to eat more so you can start putting on a little bit more muscle, and you might end up gaining a little bit more body fat with that as well. But at a high level, essentially calories in has to be more than calories out. And so kind of what I was alluding to, just kind of breaking down our metabolism. So I really like this graphic here, which is looking at the different components of our metabolism, which is, the number of calories, or sorry, the calorie. It's our body's way of how we expend energy throughout the day. So the biggest portion over here, that's going to be 60 to 75%. That's going to be our resting metabolic rate. And that's going to be the rate at which our body expends energy when fasted and at complete rest. So for example, if I were to just wake up and lie in bed and not do anything, my body's still burning calories just to stay alive. Just so from breathing, blinking, my heart pumping, all of that, my body's burning calories. Our next biggest component, 15 to 30%, is going to be our activity thermogenesis, which is going to include eat and NEAT. So eat is going to be our energy or exercise activity thermogenesis, which is going to be the calories expended through structured exercise or training. So for example, with all the exercise that we're doing in this 30-day program, that's going to be included in your eat category. And then your NEAT, that's going to be your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So energy expenditure through daily activities outside of structured energy. So for example, that'll be like walking, cleaning, household chores, taking the stairs, stuff like that. Me moving my hands like this, that's considered NEAT. So I'm moving my body not in a structured way in terms of training, but by me moving my body, I'm still burning calories. So that'll all be included in my NEAT. And finally, we have our thermic effect of eating. So you probably have heard, the saying that if you eat celery, you're burning more calories than you're eating. So it's like a negative calorie thing. I remember that from when I was younger. But our body actually burns calories by digesting food. So that's going to be the energy required to digest, absorb, and process nutrients that are consumed. And so different types of foods have different thermic effects. So something like protein, that's going to take a little bit more energy to break it down. So eating more energy will actually lead to a little bit more of a higher TEF at the end of the day. So all of this put together is going to be our total daily energy expenditure, which results in the number of calories that we burn on a day-to-day basis. There we go. And so food is fuel. So I like to think that, or not, I like to think, but the food that we consume fuels our body and delivers calories and nutrients that our body needs to function. So in order for us to, you know, ask our body to exercise, to show up day in and day out, we need to make sure that we're fueling it properly for it to be able to do so. And I really like this example from Parks and Rec. This is one that stuck out to me, and I wanted to include it when I was putting together this presentation. So I'll just play it here.
What are you doing, man? I'm getting healthier snacks for the shoe shine stand. Chris is a food genius. Did you know that the food you eat becomes energy? Yeah. Boom, that's spaghetti. Nachos. The cookie.
That's my husband.
So I hope you guys are able to hear that. But I just think it's really funny that, you know, Andy's realizing for the first time that food is actually going to provide energy. And maybe, yeah, he's talking about the not the best types of food. He's talking about nachos and cookies. But at the end of the day, that is allowing him to do these crazy movements that he's showing here in this example.
What are you
Oh
doing?
gosh, here we go. And so the food that we consume contains macronutrients, and the three macronutrients that it contains are going to be proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. And each play a very important role in how our body functions, and each provide different, and each are important in their own different ways. So I'll kind of break down why each of them are important and the benefits that they provide to us. So the first macronutrient is going to be protein. Proteins are a vital nutrient that your body needs to grow and repair cells. And your body needs protein, one, to build. So it's an important building block of bone, muscles, cartilage, and skin. Without protein, we wouldn't be able to build these structures. It's also really important in repairing our tissues after a workout. So when you're working out and lifting weights, you're actually breaking down the muscle fibers within your muscles. And so you need protein in order to rebuild these tissues after your workout. So that's why it's really important, you know, when people say eat protein after a workout, to make sure that you're eating enough that you can actually rebuild and hopefully build more within these tissues. So that way you can get stronger and bigger muscles over time. It also helps to oxygenate the body. So red blood cells contain a protein compound that carries oxygen throughout the body. And it's really important in hormone regulation. So making sure that you're eating enough protein for your hormones to stay regulated. So some of the benefits of eating protein: it helps to recover after a workout and builds lean muscle mass. So what I was saying before, with breaking down our muscle tissue, we need to supplement with protein afterwards to ensure that we're rebuilding these broken down tissues. And it also helps to curb hunger. So it takes a longer time for our body to break down protein, which is going to lead to more satiety over time. So by eating more protein, we might feel less hungry throughout the day. Our next macronutrient is going to be fats. So dietary fats are essential for providing the body with energy and supporting cell function. So there's multiple types of fats, which we can always go ahead and talk about at a later date, but just for a high level, I just wanted to keep it very high. But there are healthy types of fats that are important that we include in our diet. And our body needs fats in order to help with normal cell growth and repair. And fats also provide our body with energy. So an interesting fact is that 1 gram of fat supplies the body with 9 calories of energy, whereas protein and carbohydrates only supply the body with 4 calories. So fat is actually going to be the most energy efficient macronutrient. It's also very important for brain health. So one type of fatty acid that we consume are going to be omega-3 fatty acids, which are extremely important for brain health, and our body can actually produce them. So we need to make sure that we're including them in our diet in order to provide our brain the nutrients that it needs. And there are also fat-soluble vitamins. So A, D, E, and K vitamins are only broken down within fat. The rest are all broken down within water. So we need fats within our diet to be able to break down and provide our body with these vitamins. And again, hormone balance, that's supposed to say, without fat, it might lead to more hormone imbalances within our body. And our last macronutrient is going to be carbohydrates. And carbs are going to be the most important source of energy for your body. So if you think about, if you need a quick bout of energy, you might see, for example, sorry, my dog is playing with a Frisbee behind me. Marathon runners will take a gel or something, and that's just going to be a quick source of carbohydrates. So it's just going to provide them with that quick jolt of energy that they need in order to keep running. So our body needs carbs, one, for energy, like what I was just talking about. Glucose, which is going to be the broken down version of carbs, is broken down into energy and serves as the body's primary energy source. It's also very important for digestive health. So fiber plays an important role in digestion. So including fibrous foods within our diet will help with our digestive system. It's very important with the production of serotonin, which is going to be the neurotransmitter that regulates mood. An inadequate consumption of carbohydrates can increase our cortisol levels, which is our stress hormone. So making sure that we're eating enough carbohydrates will help to lower that level and provide our body with more of that relaxation state. And lastly, with the regulation of blood sugar. So I'm sure everyone's guilty of getting hangry at some point. I know that I frequently get hangry, so I always make sure that I have some food on hand. But without carbohydrates, our blood sugar can drop too low, causing us to feel irritable and lethargic, which is going to be that hangry feeling that I'm sure we've all felt before. So making sure that we're having enough carbohydrates in our diet will help to regulate that. So macronutrients are important because, so like we talked about before, in order to lose weight, we need to be in our calorie deficit, right? But the macronutrients are important for our overall body and health function. So someone who eats a poor diet with highly processed foods and lots of added sugar is going to look and feel a lot different than someone who prioritizes a higher protein, nutrient-rich diet. So making sure that we're providing our body with these, with the right ratio of macronutrients and providing it with healthy whole foods will allow us to look and feel our best day in and day out. So I'll pause there. It's kind of a high-level overview of macronutrients and just energy balance. Before we go into some healthy eating habits, I just wanted to pause and see if anyone had any questions. All right. I can't see anyone, so I'll take the silence as a no. But one healthy eating habit that I wanted to talk about is mindful eating. Mindful eating means using your physical and emotional senses to experience and enjoy our food. So by eating mindfully, it increases our gratitude for food, encourages us to make choices that will satisfy and nourish our body. And as we become more aware of our eating habits, we can take steps towards behavior changes to help benefit ourselves. So how can we practice mindful eating? The first, which is a really easy way to start doing it, is just to eat more slowly. So think about if you're eating with a fork, after you take a bite, you go ahead, put your fork down and allow yourself to really taste your food and enjoy the sensation of eating. And also taking smaller bites and chewing more thoroughly. That will allow us to taste our food a little bit better, help slow down our digestion, and not allow us to feel like we're just kind of flying through a meal. Also eating without distractions. So I know I'm guilty of eating in front of a TV or, if I'm eating breakfast, scrolling on Instagram or something like that. Trying to eliminate distractions will allow us to actually enjoy our food, understand our hunger cues, and really feel more satisfied after eating our meal. Engaging in all the senses. So kind of thinking about the sounds, colors, smells, tastes, and textures of the food and how we're feeling when we're eating it. So kind of an example that I have recently is when I was growing up, I lived right near a Trader Joe's. So my mom would make the Trader Joe's frozen white rice like every night for dinner. It was just like our staple carbohydrate. And then we moved back to a Trader Joe's. So recently I was heating it up and the smell just kind of brought me back home and gave me that like sense of hominess and everything. So just kind of little things like that, thinking about the way that we feel and how the food is engaging all of our different senses. Serving in modest portions, so making sure that we're not overfilling our plate or underfilling it. We have an appropriate amount of food on our plate. And then after your first portion, maybe waiting about 10 to 15 minutes before going back for seconds. That'll allow us to kind of digest that meal, see how we're feeling. And if at the end of the day we are still hungry, then we can go back and get a little bit more food instead of thinking that we're still hungry because that food hasn't been properly digested yet. Acknowledging our hunger cues. So I know that I've also been guilty of skipping meals, or I'm very regimented with my meals. So I like to eat breakfast at 8, lunch at 12, a snack at 3, and then dinner whenever. But if my body's hungry at 2, I should acknowledge that and have my snack earlier than wait and forcing myself to wait until 3 and then maybe eating a bigger meal than I would necessarily have because I wasn't acknowledging my hunger cues and feeding my body when it was actually asking for food. And lastly, this isn't really like a mindful eating, but just something that's kind of a good thing to kind of think about is taking a walk after your meals. That'll aid with digestion. It kind of takes you away, lets you kind of think about your meal, and just helps to kind of break everything down that you just put into your body. Here are some benefits of mindful eating. So more sustainable than a diet. I'm not asking you to do any sort of crazy yo-yo diet, just kind of thinking about our food and allowing us to make healthier food choices and really enjoying our food instead of kind of treating it as a chore that we need to eat. Making better food choices, lowering our stress levels. We'll be more in tune with hunger and fullness, so really understanding how we're feeling during and after a meal. improved digestion since we're eating a little bit more slowly, allowing our body to process the food, creating a better relationship with food, increasing our self-esteem, no more yo-yo dieting, so like I was saying, just leading to more healthy habits when it comes to eating, and decreased emotional and stress eating. So we kind of treat eating not as something that we have to do, but something that we get to do and can really enjoy the experience. I wanted to talk about some behavior changes that we can think about when it comes to our diets. This I took from actually Blaise's presentation because I thought these were really good examples of things that we can think about when we're talking about, maybe changing some of our behaviors around eating. So thinking from a place of abundance, not scarcity. So that means thinking about things that we can add to our diet instead of taking away. So maybe it's adding one green vegetable per day or a handful of berries instead of saying, oh, I can't eat, that bag of chips because it's bad for me. Thinking about what we can add to our diet instead of what we need to take away, and thinking about something small that we can swap or substitute that might be a healthier choice. So example would be having water at dinner instead of a soda or a cocktail, or maybe getting the grilled nuggets at Chick-fil-A as opposed to the fried ones. So simple swaps like that could go a long way in the long run. And the last thing that I really wanted to touch on is the 80-20 rule. And this is one that I personally follow for myself. So anyone who knows me knows that I am a sucker for ice cream. I have a rule in my house where I have to have ice cream once a week or else I will not be a happy camper. So 80% of the time I focus on eating my healthy, nutritious, whole foods, but the other 20% of the time I allow myself to enjoy foods that I love that may not necessarily fall into that category. So that would be my ice cream once a week. Being able to kind of adhere to this rule makes me not feel guilty about adding those unhealthy choices in at the end of the day, but make sure that I'm still getting what I need 80% of the time, but allowing myself to enjoy the foods that I really want to enjoy that might not necessarily fall into that category. So that was all I had. I'll pause here again for questions or if there's anything that you guys wanted to add. I'll open up the floor to everyone else to share here.
Would everyone be willing to like drop their favorite protein snack or easy to go protein? I'm having a hard time like filling my diet with protein throughout the day, like when I'm not home.
I always have hard-boiled eggs in the fridge. So when I'm running late in the morning, I can just grab hard-boiled eggs. Or I'm coming home from work and I'm starving, I can grab a hard-boiled egg.
Awesome. That's a good idea.
I do a lot of like yogurt, and I'm also a sucker for cottage cheese. I know it's like a hot take, but I do love some cottage cheese.
I was just gonna say, Blaise put me onto Greek yogurt mixed with like protein powder, and then I add some berries in there. I eat that all the time. Like, so good.
I might have to try that.
Yeah, Jenny, I really appreciate you asking that. What I just dropped in to the group chat on WhatsApp is a like Instagram group channel that we have with people in the group as well. And what it is like when we see something that like looks like it tastes super good, we're throwing it in there and then everybody can like take a peek at it. So it's like kind of like a running list of all those things. So check out the WhatsApp chat and then join that, and then you'll be able to see all the stuff that we're like, ooh, we're making this, and Chelsea adds a ton of stuff to it and it's really, really good. So
Cool. Thank you guys.
oh god.
Jenny, do you like beef jerky?
Yeah.
That's I found really easy to take on the go too with like a little baggie, or I know Costco has individual bags you can just grab. I think they're like maybe 20 grams of protein in like a little bag. But I shall go with that all day long too, like getting extra protein in and meeting that goal. So on the go snacks like that. I know Chomps makes, they're like the beef jerky sticks. They're super good too. They come in a bunch of different flavors. I keep one of those in my purse just in case.
That sounds good.
What are they a rip off of? Slim Jims. It's like a better for you
Yeah.
Slim Jim. Yeah.
Can't beat that.
I want to say one other thing too. Mia dropped some dimes of knowledge and info in that, and I like totally appreciate all the stuff that she kind of talked about. If you guys have like specific questions about any of those things, definitely feel free to reach out to her or me as well. There's a lot of those things that she kind of, I want to say like glanced over, but you could do almost an entire discussion on just macronutrients and just like relationships with food and healthy eating habits and those types of things. And honestly, Andrew's in the call right now, and Andrew, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to anyway. Talk to everybody here a little bit about like your experience and like how, if you changing that relationship with the food that you're eating has led to so much positivity on your journey, because you've lost, I don't know, over 15 pounds over the course of a couple months. So just kind of hit on that for me if you would.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that Mia said today and Blaise told me, I mean, I don't know. I think like immediately when I met with Blaise, I was like, yeah, I feel like I really need to cut out carbs. And he was like, nope, that's not what I'm going to tell you. Maybe just start with something like having greens or eating vegetables or adding more of those things to your diet. So I think just like those small changes over time really went a long way. Just starting, like Blaise said, with and Mia today, just starting with adding some greens to a meal, and then from there being mindful about how I eat. I did all those things that Mia said today about taking a breath or like slowing it down, and it really made a huge change in the way with my relationship with food. And I think just tracking and continuing to communicate with Blaise on what I was eating was huge for me.
Thanks, Andrew. Sorry to put you on the spot, dude, but I think that it's like super valuable to hear it, from you, who's, I feel like, come so far and done so well with it too. So I appreciate that. And the other thing too is it doesn't have to be super complex, right? Like, I don't think anything that Mia said was really, really difficult, but it's just breaking that stuff down and then finding really simple ways to make it happen. So thank you again.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think that's the big thing with nutrition. Like people get so overwhelmed about, oh, you need to go no carb or Mediterranean diet or like there's so many different things out there. And at the end of the day, it's like it's what works best for you. And trying to find like small little changes that you can make to your diet, like over time, like Andrew said, those will amount to so much. So they're not asking you to, completely change up all your eating habits, but just trying to like be more mindful about it and think about small ways you can like add different things to it that might make it a little bit healthier at the end of the day. Wait, I don't have anything else for you guys. If anyone else has any questions or like wants anything specific to them, I know we provided those macro guides. So if you want to kind of do like a detailed breakdown of that, I'm happy to sit down and talk about that. Or if you have any like questions specific to you and your diet, like let me know. We can go ahead, schedule a call or something and just chat about it. But just use me as a resource, use Blaise as a resource. We're more than happy to help out where we can.
Thank you so much, Mia. That was a great presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
thank you guys.
Thank you, Mia.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Good night. See you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye.